All right, 6:30. Welcome, everybody. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have one addition to the agenda, the solar array update. Is there any other, sir, that's what solar array update?
Yep.
Yep.
Got a notice from the Public Utilities Commission that that the petition from Great River Hydro for a solar array, a 3.5 megawatt solar array here in Vernon on the Governor Hunt Road, is up for review. I have the numbers, the case number here, if anybody needs it, wants to see what they're planning on putting up and why. It doesn't mean that it's a done deal, but it means that the Public Utilities Commission has it up for review and they have all of the maps and everything updated on their site, and it's gonna be in process. They have 6 weeks from when they posted this to make their first comments on it, or get in a 6-week extension.
Is that something you can put on the web?
What's that?
Can you put that on the web?
I can.
Or is Heidi too?
So Jim, my understanding was it went from us to Wyndham Regional. What was Wyndham Regional's?
Wyndham Regional's finding on it was that the town disapproved the project because it was on prime agricultural land. It was inconsistent with the flow. If you can put one on that piece of prime land, why not put it on others, which is inconsistent with our town plan. They said it's not inconsistent with the region-wide plan, which doesn't take into account prime agricultural land. It just says solar arrays are a great idea wherever you put them. And so they forwarded to the PUC with no recommendation, but noting the fact that it wasn't against the regional plan and that the town disapproved of it. So that's how it went to PUC, Public Utilities Commission.
Thank
Questions?
you. Any questions from the audience?
Just got one more.
Yep.
Could PUC have shut it down before entering this process, or is this just a standard process to go
They
through?
have to go through this public review process before they sit their board and make a decision on that. And the thing is, how long, they have 6 weeks, but like, they could do any time now, they could convene and do this. Their next scheduled meeting isn't until next month. So it probably won't be a decision, probably won't be done until next month. The interesting thing about any of these Section 248 of Act 250 is if the PUC says no, disapproves it, then the petitioner, in this case Great River Hydro, can bring that up to environmental review court, and they can make a decision that's either for or against the PUC and everybody else that did that.
So would it help to forward our input in as a board to PUC or the Planning Commission?
You'll love this. At the PUC, yes. Anything that we send to the PUC, great idea. And I'm gonna send the section of our town plan where it specifically says, hey, don't build it on prime agricultural land. And in our explanation of how, if they do it on this little small site, it opens it up for other areas. And Wyndham is kind of a little iffy about it because it's consistent with the regional plan, so they're not gonna send anything. So that'll be about it, unless somebody takes a look at the PUC website where they have this all listed and says, hey, I'm not in favor of that. Individuals, anybody that's an abutter, because if it leaves the PUC approved or disapproved, you're out of control. We have no more control at that point. Public Utilities Commission usually agrees with the town. It'll be an exception for them not to. So that's the status of that right now. Question?
Sandy, would we need a motion to send a letter to Puck?
I'll entertain one.
Madam Chair, I move that we send a letter to the Public Utilities Commission reiterating our disapproval of the Great River Hydro solar array.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Is there any further discussion from anybody? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? You have to abstain.
I refused anything.
The motion carries. Shelley? You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. We have open public comment for items that are not on the agenda. Please limit those to 3 minutes if you're long-winded. You're not all jumping up and down. Okay, minute approval. Regular meeting minutes, September 16th.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes of September 16th, 2025 as written.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none? All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, minutes of October 7th, 2025.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the Select Board regular meeting minutes from October 7th, 2025.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I'll abstain. Motion carries. Warrant.
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I move that we approve payment of the following warrant. 11T Accounts Payable, $50,218.89. 40S Payroll, $10,796.67. 41S Payroll, $12,548.81.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? The motion carries. New business, Vernon Green, support for the greenhouse project, grant application. Yeah,
Yep, thank you. Just stay seated here, I assume, so is that
You
fine?
can, or you can stand, it's up to you.
rearrange things on these. Thank you for having us on the agenda this evening. We greatly appreciate it. I would make one correction, just a simple thing on the agenda. It's Vernon Homes, not Vernon Green. Vernon Green is the nursing facility, so.
thank you.
So for the last few years, we have been in process trying to get the necessary entitlements to replace Vernon Green Nursing Home and do enhancements to Vernon Hall Assisted Living. And we got the certificate of need at the end of 2023 from the Green Mountain Care Board, approving the rates for the new structure, the Medicaid rates. And then over the last couple of years, we've also been working on Act 250 permitting, which was quite a large process for a small organization like ourselves. But after a considerable amount of time and effort, we finally got approval from Act 250. So our project was pretty much shovel ready. We had construction design, construction documents in place. The only thing we hadn't completed yet was the construction permit. We were waiting because there was a substantial cost to that construction permit, so we were waiting till we had everything in place before we applied for that construction permit. We did put the project out to bid, and the project came in considerably above what our initial estimates were on the project. kind of taking us out of the realm of the community funding loan that we were applying for, covering the cost of the project. So that kind of has put us back to seeking other ways to help fund the project, and we're looking for other community grants to help supplement the gap between what we feel we can take in debt and then grants to help supplement that. So we're here tonight. Well, first let me say, we at Vernon Homes has engaged Peter Rood from North Hill Solutions to help us with grant writing, and there are a number of grants that we're looking for from within the state of Vermont. And the Vermont Development Community Program is one of those grant funding sources that we are looking at. And we need to establish a relationship with the local municipality to be able to apply for that grant. So with that said, I'll turn it over to Peter and he'll give you more details of what we're looking for.
Sure. I mean, we're just, as Brett said, my name is Peter. I'm a local community development consultant working with Vermont municipalities as well as nonprofit organizations like Vernon Homes to apply for funding sources like this, such as the VCPD program, Northern Borders Regional Commission, and other state and federal grants for these projects. As you know, the VCPD program, the primary applicant has to be the municipality, and so we're here to seek your consent to proceed with the application for an implementation grant for their project, particularly for the renovation project at Vernon Home, that phase of the project, so that can move ahead. And the Vermont Community Development Program has slightly changed their process over the past year, and part of that process is requiring a pre-application. Normally there's 2 per year. This year they've changed that. There's only 1 this time, so the pre-application is due in 2 weeks, and so we would have a bit of work ahead of ourselves. And then from that process, what happens is the VCDB staff reviews all the pre-applications that are received, and for projects that they deem are qualified, they then invite you to a full application, and that full application would be due in March. And it would be, at the full application, then we would need a formal vote and consent and approval from the select boards to move ahead. There'd be a public hearing to notify the public of applying for this implementation grant, what the project is at Vernon Homes, and you know what this public funding would be used for. And I think that their project is a really excellent fit for this funding source, and I think it would also help keep a really great community resource alive in Vernon.
Any questions for it? Shelley?
I have 3. How does it change the footprint? You know, this project, the footprint like of the green and of the home. I mean, are we expanding?
No, the footprint won't change from our original design. So the basic overview is a replacement nursing facility for the current Vernon Green, which will be a 3-story structure. And it will mean tearing down what we call the Towner House, but where the Knowles lived for years on the campus there. We would have to tear that structure down, build a 3-story building. That would be the replacement nursing home. But in addition to that, we have to do some renovations to Vernon Hall Assisted Living, adding some space for some dietary needs and some maintenance space and different things. And then there would also be some just general appearance renovations to the assisted living as part of this funding that we're looking at.
And we increase the number of units?
No, this is strictly replacement. So part of the certificate of need application with the Green Mountain Care Board, we weren't looking for additional beds or reduction in beds. We were just looking for replacement licensed beds.
Thank you.
Jim?
Just one. The line item says you're looking for support. Are you looking for support in writing grant, or just saying Yeah, it's a good idea.
We just need your approval to proceed because the municipality would technically be the primary applicant.
Okay,
So what we would do is, Vernon Homes has hired me. I would do the actual writing of the grant, so there would be no expense or nothing required of you. I would need to coordinate with Shelley to, for example, communicate with the state to, for her as a municipal employee to grant me permission to get into the portal in order to write the grant on their behalf. But other than that, we don't need anything from the select board. There would be a few forms for you to complete, which we would assist with should we be invited to a full application, but that would be during the winter time, and we would present those to you at the time. And it basically what those forms are is that you see the project as a good fit for your community and supporting your community, as well as just some simple things like one of the forms is acknowledging that you already have certain policies in place at the municipal level for financial management, for example, is one option, which I already know that you have in place. So it's just a formality more than anything.
thank you.
Jean?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay, so you don't need a motion?
I mean, if somebody wants to make one, it will certainly solidify our position, but we just need your overall consent that we can work with Shelley to begin the pre-application process for it. If it makes you feel more comfortable, when I have spoken with other select boards, my recommendation is just to not have any doubt or question amongst your community, to ask you to make a motion. But at this point, it wouldn't be till later on in the process that we need a formal motion.
The board, what's your pleasure? It's time to go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should support the project any way we can and as firmly as we can, as early as we can.
Okay. Go for it.
Thank you, everyone. We really appreciate this. And I'll reach out to Shelley this week to begin that process. So
She's a great one to do.
thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And we'll come back in the future and update you on how things are going,
Okay.
both with the application process, but should we get the grant, part of that, it will be regular reporting, to you folks so you all know what's happening.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us tonight.
Fire department, you guys are up.
So Michael's gonna pull up a PowerPoint that the truck committee's put together. So Michael Root, John Wielden, Travis Franklin, and Chris LaFlamme, who's not with us tonight. They've been working together with each other and different vendors for the past, I don't know, a year and a half, 2 years, trying to put together a package of just how the town may move forward with utilizing our capital funds for the replacement of our current tanker truck. And also with us is Tim Alexander as well. So some things I looked at was just maintaining or upgrading to the current standards, safety standards, NFPA standards, what our current and future needs of the community are, and also just our fiscal responsibility for keeping the cost down and what was the most financially stable option. Our current tanker, it's a 1994 Freightliner. It holds 2,500 gallons of water. It has been involved in an accident in early 2000s. There is some frame damage. We've had the tank repaired a few times. There's starting to become some more mechanical and electrical type issues. So it's showing its age. It's a 31-year-old truck, and it's getting to that point where we need to do something with it. So, picture of it. And just as background, this is, so our tanker truck, it's basically, it's a frontline truck, but we use it as, it's our primary water supply, it's our water on wheels. So one of the considerations that we looked at with the replacement, was going with an extra 500 gallons of water on it. We just, for space and cost, it just seemed like it was money well spent to go that route. So that was kind of the focus of one of our improvements looking forward. Some of the issues, there's some ergonomic issues. There's ladders are difficult to get to. There's significant body corrosion. We've had valves and stuff that are corroding from the inside. There's some electrical things going on that we can't seem to pinpoint. We've had a couple times where the truck's been down for an extended period of time waiting on parts and so on. So the first option the committee looked at was refurbishing the existing truck. And so there were a few things to consider there. Refurbishment takes about 18 to 24 months, and that's without a replacement truck. So we're pulling the truck out of the bay for a year and a half to 2 years, and they're going through it and doing mechanical work to it, some limited rebuilding, but it's not a full rebuild. And my understanding is the warranty is very limited. There wasn't, it didn't seem to be a long-term fix, but it was the most cost-effective fix at around $400,000. So this is the next slide is a picture of kind of a similar truck to what we have now, with the extra 500 gallons of water. This is on a commercial chassis, which is basically the mass-produced chassis that kind of caters to a bunch of different industries and stuff. It's not specific purpose built to be a fire truck. It comes off of the assembly line as for whatever a company may need a heavy spec truck for. They're not designed to be fully loaded every day and to sit every day. So there's some components that aren't necessarily geared up to be geared towards a fire truck. But the cost on the commercial was around $750. The lead build time with that was 12 to 14 months. This is also for a two-door or a two-seat cab as we have now. This design was kind of similar to some of the storage space and stuff that we have now. If there's anything else. Yeah, it does have it has a smaller engine than the custom. Less horsepower. And it has a bigger turning radius. And then this schematic was a custom truck that we had spec'd out. And the big thing across the board, whether it was the custom or the commercial, was getting the center of gravity down a little bit. Because that truck, the current tanker, the center of gravity is just very high on it, and it's intimidating to drive, and it feels unstable. So getting that CG down was super important. The custom has a 6-man cab, or a 5-man. So we've got increased seating, and it still has the 3,000 gallons of water. The price on that one is $950. It does come with the chassis is galvanized, so they're giving us a longer frame life on that. There's also, because it's purpose built as a fire truck from the ground up, it gives us more safety features and it meets the NFPA requirements. There's some stability controls and some extra airbag, safety stuff in there that they can do because they're building it to the fire trucks back. Another thing that was discussed, but there's a lot of unknowns with it, is going with a demo type truck. Dealers will have a spec truck that they want to throw out as a demo. It's hard to know what's coming out, and a lot of times they don't stay on the shelf very long. So we weren't sure, how the competitive bid process works with that, how the selection would be, just what would be available if we did go that route. And then the other piece that we kind of looked at too was just, if it really met our needs, or where would the balance need to be drawn with where it's how it's spec'd and what we need. And then we did a breakdown on cost per year for ownership. The refurbishment option, they were giving us about a 10-year lifespan, so about $40,000 a year. The commercial, they're saying approximately 20 years, $37,650 a year, and then the custom with a 30-year lifespan at, I guess, $31,765. So there's a lot of there's some pros and cons through all of it. Ultimately, the committee and myself, after some long discussions, we would recommend going with the custom, but it's also more than any one of them really is more than what we have as a town to spend on the truck. So I think really the next steps is some guidance from the board on where we would like to head as a town with this, and also how we want to seek on getting the funding to move forward, because this is a need to get that truck replaced, and it's going to take some time to do it, and we don't want to be kicking the can down the road any further than we need to. And part of the reason this has taken so long to get here is when we first started looking at this, we couldn't even get pricing from the vendors. They were saying, well, it's gonna be this amount, and we're gonna, and the increases they were throwing in, and the unknowns and everything else, and it was hard to put together a good solid presentation with just so many unknowns. And really, the committee did an extraordinary amount of work to find and to work with a vendor that was able to really sit down with us and give us some good firm numbers, and that was really good to work with. And I don't, although these numbers are high, they're not as high as some of the initial ones that we were getting. And they're also in line with what we're seeing other towns spending on their apparatus. I know Guilford is speccing out a truck, Newbrook, Bernardston, and this is all in line with what they're spending. So it's a lot of money, but at the same time, it seems to be in line with what I'm seeing across other communities. And then I guess some other supplemental things above and beyond the cost of the truck. We're looking at putting a portable pump on the truck. And also, we're gonna need to furbish the truck with some radios. So we haven't firmed those numbers up yet.
I have a question. So does the custom truck would it fit into the fire station as it is now?
Yeah.
And are there any modifications to the fire station that would need to be to accommodate the new, because if you think about, if I go out and get a Tesla, for example, you have to have a new way to plug it in, you have to have new things to do. Is there anything that the fire station would need to accommodate it?
Nope.
No.
We made sure during our meetings that, everybody we met with, that we told them this is the size of our fire department.
Yeah.
It's gotta fit in here.
Another question, The
Yes,
last time the
ma'am.
fire department got a demo truck, it came with a steering wheel and 4 tires. There were no other things that, I think you have a little more than that, but basically that's what it came with. And then all the other things that it's supposed to have had to be bought, so that price tag was not really the price tag. I had to go out and get all the extras. This demo truck would, the price wise, would make sure that it came with what it's supposed to have.
Well, the truck is it's a bare truck price. So the radios, those are a definite thing that would need to be added in. And the portable pump would be the big addition.
Right, but that
For the
would
truck.
be,
That would be included with the proposal cost.
right, okay, that's what I'm saying.
But we have,
That's not what was like before, but,
we have the hose and the air packs and the hand tools and those types of things to put on the truck.
With all of you fire departments, if you got together, would they give you better deals?
We tried that with Guilford
Yeah.
because they're speccing a truck at the same time, but it didn't really seem like, we pushed them for it and they didn't really bite on it, so.
Okay, board, Shelley, questions?
Yeah, I think we should, they've put in all the work and effort in finding what is gonna work for them. I think we should
Listen to
go
them.
with that.
Brandon?
No, I agree with Shelley. I mean, every time you guys come, you always have an awesome proposal that, I appreciate that. The information we need to make the decision, you can tell it's well thought out.
Yeah.
We're taxpayers too, so.
Yeah. Just out, I guess more out of curiosity than anything, how expensive is the extra 500 gallons? And like, have you ever been on site and like, shoot, we need 500 more gallons? Or,
Well,
if it's
it's not-
$200,000 more because you need
Yeah.
to up, the rating of the truck or something for the 500 gallons, is it?
I asked the vendor that, how much is the extra 500 gallons? And a lot of it does boil down to the configuration of the truck. But, I mean, it's less than $5,000. And we're always, water on a scene, you can, if it's properly applied, a room and contents fire, you can keep it under control with a one of the little water fire extinguishers for a little while. So 500 gallons of water properly applied is a lot of water, and sometimes we need it. And
Got farms.
And with the
Yeah.
custom truck, you mentioned it's an engine as well. Would that delay the replacement of the other trucks because this is kind of a 2-in-1, or I don't know how any of that works? And what's an engine? Does that mean it's a pumper, or what does that?
so with the custom, we looked at if our other frontline truck went down, this is something that we could serve as a dual purpose, that we could use it as an engine if we needed to throw some extra people on and to get that into the scene. So now if our engine 1 went down, then we're either shuffling stuff around and using engine 3, which should be going to our water supply, and setting up at the pond. So it gives us that flexibility to be able to do a little bit more with it. And it also throws some extra people on the truck, because you always need more people and more water is what we're.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Jim?
Have you looked into any grants that are available for fire trucks like that? For
I
town
haven't
pur-
personally.
Okay.
I know Shelley had mentioned the application period for the FEMA grant is coming up. And I don't know a lot about, I don't know anything about the FEMA grant.
So, go ahead, Jim.
What do you figure is the time frame when you gotta have this thing, or it's gonna deteriorate your ability to respond to fires?
I don't have an answer for that. I really don't. I know this was, it was a projected replacement for the 23-24 budget or something. So, our capital plan says we're at the point that we need to do that. We're short on money. So we need to supplement one way or another, and we're a little behind the 8 ball. But I'm not gonna go out and say this is a tomorrow thing. but it might be a next week thing.
But I personally think it's a good idea, and I like the idea of getting, if that's the first truck on site, there's 6 people there instead of a driver and somebody holding onto the running board. Then,
Yeah, I wanna be clear, it's not scheduled to be the first truck on site.
Mhm.
That would be our engine one, but we also have the potential to be able to use it as our first truck on site. But it's our needed second truck on site.
Gotcha. Well, nonetheless, I think it's a good idea, and I think we ought to pursue it any way we can.
So I was struck with the commercial tanker, that it wasn't recommended to keep it full of water when it was just parked. Because is not your tanker full of water and ready to roll?
Yeah, so.
And so I was like, this doesn't sound good.
And that may be worded a little funny, but the way it was explained to me through the rep was that when a commercial truck comes off of the assembly line, the suspension, the frame system, they're not designed as a commercial chassis to be loaded all the time. They're designed to go out, to get loaded up in the morning, go out, do their job, come back, and be unloaded at the end of the day. And to sit there for every day being loaded, not to say that they don't make them as fire trucks every day, and they get used as fire trucks every day, it's, some of it may be a sales pitch, but at the same time, it kind of makes sense too, so.
Yeah, I can see that, and that's very unsettling to me. Like, oh wait, let me just go get the water first, and then I'll be right there. That's not a good plan. So for all your reasons, I agree with the custom truck. Yeah.
How much do we have in the fund?
Yeah, I think so.
Over 400. I saw 425 in the capital plan. Maybe there's more in there than that.
Yeah, I heard because there was something about the interest needed to be figured out or something.
Yeah, we're
So
still
we're
waiting
not
on
sure.
the final figures.
Yeah.
But we also do have a lot of money in the emergency capital plan. Replace and repair fund.
We do. And that also needs to be replaced though when it's taken out, one way or another.
So there is that opportunity. I would like to try to work with Alex and pursue the FEMA grant, considering that it's a very rural community that doesn't have municipal water. It takes a priority.
Yeah,
It's very competitive, but I think it's worth a shot.
for sure.
There's a lot of money out there. I've used that grant before. But it is a very short time frame, so it's a lot of statistics that I would need you guys to put it together. It's not undoable. I think it's worth a shot.
Support?
So is this a big enough, I mean, I'm in support, but is it a big enough expense we need to take it to town meeting? Can fund it through town meeting or get a yay or nay at town meeting?
No, I mean, the town has already supported the capital plan.
Yeah, but it doesn't cover it all.
No, but I think if you're talking a couple of years out, by the time this is ready, I would say let's keep putting some money in the capital plan and keep adding to it in that time frame, and at least get some more in there before the truck has to be paid for.
And this is the
And lock them into the price.
reserve fund.
Let's go like a minute.
Probably not gonna go down. Yes, JJ.
So
That's what the interest.
you don't have, so part of the agreement you can make with the manufacturer, whoever is awarded the purchase of the truck, you do not have to put any money down to it until it is delivered. So you have 14 to 18 months to,
Financing.
right, so with the FEMA grant, the downside to that is you cannot purchase a truck before you're awarded the grant.
No.
Right.
So we'd have to wait another year on the FEMA grant to see if we get awarded it before we can place the truck on order.
Yeah, which you can see when that's awarded.
So, and that's how they've had it for the longest time.
And I know the FEMA grant, they do it in rounds, so you know along the way, I guess, it's my understanding anyways, that you kind of know where you're at in the process, and if your grant gets kicked, or if your application gets kicked before, I don't know how many rounds they go through, but it's-
Do you know, Shelley, how long it would be before you would know?
No, I'd have to look at it, because the application hasn't opened for this year. It opens, I think, November 1st, and it's like a 1 month or a 6-week timeframe. And it's,
And how, like, is it cost share, or what percentage, or is it maxed out at an amount, or how does that work?
there is a matching funds, but I think it's, oh gosh, what did I say, it's like 15%. We would more than be able to meet that.
So from my perspective, I wouldn't be comfortable ordering a truck if we don't know how we're going to pay for it.
I agree.
As much as I support the idea, I just to go ahead and order it and say, yeah, we're gonna figure out the money in the next few years. I don't think that's a very good policy.
No, and I don't think our intent isn't to say, hey, let's get a truck coming, but it's, this is where we're at, and realistically, where do we want to head with it?
And we could put an article in that town meeting.
I mean, honestly, that could be the quickest,
Yeah,
most straightforward way to make up the difference, if there's enough support.
yeah.
That could be it.
And that's cost of a house. Mhm.
My house is a lot cheaper than that.
Yeah.
Just built one.
Mine is too. Good. So board?
I'm gonna agree with Brandon on that. I think we ought to let the town have a shot at that.
I'd like to look into that.
Okay.
I'd like to find out whether or not we can fund it over 2 years in one article.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I mean, if
That
we
way it
know.
doesn't hit so hard,
Yeah.
because it's not gonna be delivered probably in that time frame anyway.
Right, on top of that is the price now, there'll be a 5% increase come beginning of next year. So just in,
I know.
David?
Going up.
Are you sure it'll only be 5 JJ?
yes.
No, seriously,
No, I know.
from 1 year, from ordering a dump truck, the dump
Yeah.
truck that we just ordered
Yeah.
is $17,000 more.
Yeah, so.
It's the same truck.
Right, so the kind of difference, and we found this out while we were doing the research on this,
No.
with doing the custom, they can guarantee the price compared to the commercials. Where
Okay.
commercial chassis, there's departments who ordered their trucks, and before they got them, oh, by the way, it's a $50,000 more increase.
Yep.
Because the customs price, the commercial prices went up. Whereas the customs, they can set those, and that's pretty set. But we've talked to the vendors, it's pretty been set. Every year, you're looking at least a 5%, max 5% increase.
So is that after, if you order it in 2026, are they gonna put the price up in 2027 or you've already ordered it?
No.
So it locks the price in when you order it.
Kind of
I would hope so. I mean,
contract.
I would want a direct answer from a rep to get that, and I think that may be a couple days before town meeting phone call to say, this is, if we agree on it, what are you guys doing, or whatever.
And you definitely guarantee us to have a good town meeting.
Or the trash.
Yeah, true.
Better than trash.
The new highlight.
So I still think we should look into the FEMA grant in the meantime and just see what's there.
Definitely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Any other questions for the judge? It's a great presentation and we're behind you all the way.
Good work on it.
Thank you for all your work.
Oh, thank you.
It's great. Okay, compensation time policy.
just don't seem to have any breaks on this policy, like stopping point type breaks. Well, there is and there isn't.
This is our current policy, right?
Yes.
Okay.
It was adopted in 2023.
There is a limit to how much can be banked, but I don't know. I don't know what you do to try to get employees to use their comp time instead of getting paid out.
You can give it to me,
No thanks, I'll keep mine.
I already did, so.
So last time, if I remember, it was like, this was like a heavy recreation issue, correct?
Yes.
And I thought we were gonna have a conversation with them and get
Mhm.
feedback and input from them.
So I talked to the director, and he's putting into his budget extended hours for a supervisor to hopefully take up a good amount of that gap. My concern is there's no transparency in the comp time line is in the select board budget, and I don't know if it's possible or if you'd be open to maybe splitting that up. And there's only one department using it, and there's no transparency as to where the funds are going and who's receiving the funds.
Would it be out of order to have the comp time come out of the rec budget?
You can make that decision. The select board can add that to the rec budget. My only concern is that my only concern is that that would only be a portion of it, and we should still have a small line someplace else to fall back on in case we end up in a situation where somebody ends up having to work an awful lot of hours and has an excessive amount of comp time.
It also,
You can't take it and need to pay out.
yeah, I mean, where do you leave the other departments? If you've got to still be able to let this policy apply to everybody equally. And so there has to be a way to let other employees get paid out if they needed to.
And that's why, and
You know, there's extenuating circumstances. There was a time when I was basically it in the library and could not take time off. And Kathy has gone through that.
I have 116 and a half hours.
How much do you have?
I think 116 and a half that I
So
haven't used.
those situations, you know, need to be able to be addressed also.
Would it be appropriate to have a provision where the expectation is that it's comp time, and if it's payout time, that's for special circumstances that are approved by the select board?
Well, it says they're supposed to get prior approval.
But
by
right-
administrator.
But right now, we're in a situation, I feel like it's just getting submitted and we're signing off on it. And it's not leaving necessarily any room for, if something should happen, like with the library, with another department, there wouldn't be room left to compensate for that. That's my concern.
Right.
So something, I feel like somehow we need to figure out a way to regulate it a little differently or better, so that it can be used for circumstances we may not foresee happen.
Exactly.
So this is bad because employees may request that they receive compensatory leave in lieu of overtime pay. Okay. No employee may be forced to receive compensatory leave in lieu of overtime wages, which kind of like leaves you a lot, saying you need to take comp time and not just keep getting paid for it.
If this was put in place to save the town money as opposed to paying out overtime time and a half.
Yeah.
However, now it's becoming an issue.
Right.
In the last budget, it was overspent more than 50%.
So it's just overspent because there's no oversight and we're not, is this on us? Have we not paid attention to?
This never happened. I don't think there's ever been that much,
No, this, yeah.
extra time.
So there's no, in this policy though, I don't see where, it's not clear to me. It's not like, oh, the treasurer will alert someone if we reach an hour. There's nothing in here that says who's gonna have an eye on that.
Mm-hmm. This is what we have to work with. You can go back and rewrite it.
It's too bad that we can't have it in our budget, but then charge it back to the department in the report. The individual department.
I don't know.
Well, could we break it out in our budget by department? There's no reason that.
But then you have to budget more just in case, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, because usually it's extenuating circumstances.
And that's why.
That's why it started.
Right, and that's why I have the history of how much has been accrued in the past. Just to have something to look at. And everybody has a copy in the packet, so it's.
You know, I just feel like too, the last year in terms of the treasurer's office has been understaffed and hard to keep on top of these kind of things or be alerted to it. I feel like that may not be the case anymore, but I mean, these things show up in payroll,
Right.
you know.
When Shelley and I were doing payroll together, that's when we were saying, we have to do 2 more checks for comp time. And some of them were a couple weeks back to back
I know.
that it was, but, you know, cause you
Big
look,
checks.
yeah.
But when, I don't know, unless we put more limits on how much can get accumulated, because that was a lot getting accumulated and a lot getting paid out.
It differs from year to year. That's why I thought it would be good to have all the information of who's accrued how much time each year for the past 6, 7, 8 years of history. So.
Just about every full time, except for the highway, they get paid for their overtime, but in each department, there's people that get it. In lieu of overtime,
I mean, I know
yeah.
one point is that if you've had a week, very heavy, use of your time, you should be trying to take time off the following week. So, I mean, Kathy could not, when I was alone, I could not, but if you have staff,
Right.
I think that effort needs to be made.
I agree. I think the payout should be an exception, not a norm.
That's right.
I think that's how it was intended.
It was, and the
How do you word that?
accumulation was nothing like it is now.
Yeah.
When it was, well, that's what I'm saying, like, other than it being on administrative role. Cause you basically are overseeing all those other departments.
Yep.
But that being said, somehow you need to be aware of what's going on. short of you going through the warrants, which is not necessarily a thing you need to spend your time on.
No.
Not in municipalities, but in the companies that I've worked for, I've seen them have a maximum amount of time you can bank,
Yeah.
all right? Even though you can use 40 hours, if you don't, you can't bank, say, 20 hours a week or, and it was that radical, it was less than half you could bank. You know, but again, that was a company, that wasn't a municipality. I don't know if we come under any other extended rules on this or not.
Well, we have a maximum of 160 hours. Just it's a lot, because when that needs to get paid out or something, it's
160 hours a pay period or a month or?
Oh,
Hmm?
no,
For a
total.
year.
Up to 160 hours, and then it has to be compensated. You have to cash them in, I think, is how it
Or
was.
somebody has to use
May
their time.
maintain
Or not bank.
a lead bank up to a maximum of 160 hours at any
Or
given
they have to
time.
use it or
Or
cash it in.
lose it, right?
There was,
Or
I don't think you can
Or you
use
say,
it.
no, you can't.
Because
It's earned time.
legally, you work those hours, you have to pay us for
Yeah.
them.
Right,
I don't
Yeah.
think you can take them away.
No.
no,
So I'm just
Yeah.
trying to understand, if you have 160 hours banked and you work additional hours, then it's automatically paid additionally?
You're supposed to, the employee is supposed to cash it in when they get to that point. They're supposed to keep track of it themselves. I keep track of it on a spreadsheet. Um,
And then when they get to 160 hours, they cash it in, or?
Well, when,
Or at the end of a pay period?
I know what is happening is when they get close, they start cashing it in.
why is it being allowed to accrue so much? I know I've worked at a place that you get a comp day, you need to, either that next pay period, either to find a day to take, or
Mhm.
you get paid for that day by the next pay period. Why are people getting so much what is going on that people are getting so much comp time? Other than
Well-
extenuating circumstances, I get that.
Well, it's written as 160. They
Yep.
bank
That's an awful lot.
160.
it's
That's a
also,
whole month.
at the discretion of the department head.
Yeah, but that's an awful lot of comp time.
It is,
Whole month's pay.
it is.
I would bank it too, then, but that seems like an awful lot to bank. And to accrue that much comp time.
So this is our minimum, so if, you know, the FLSA, the town compensates non-exempt employees at a rate of 1.5 hours for each hour actually worked. That's a minimum, or that's what we have to get? I mean, that's a law? Is that-
That's the law.
That's the law.
That's the law.
That's the labor law.
And technically, under overtime, even if you don't approve it, we have to pay them,
Because it's earned time.
even though this says approved hours worked. If they choose to come and work, we have to pay them.
I mean, but we must be able to limit the amount of hours they choose to come into work. I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Well, I think right there,
That's
the
what I
word
found out.
choice.
I was
You-
told that if they came in, even if we told them not to, and they came in, we have to pay them. That's what they said.
Yeah.
Right, you technically, you can't deny them pay if they've worked, however, should not be coming into work when you were not scheduled.
Right.
It's, your supervisor does the scheduling, not you, yourself. Turn around and, send them home, but you can't deny them the pay, absolutely.
But in this case, it's the department heads who are doing the scheduling, it's the department heads who are working the overtime hours.
increased staffing, that this won't be as big an issue. However, I think that it's worth looking at now.
So would the Vermont League of Cities and Towns have any kind of guidance on this? Is this just,
I have asked
it
them,
seems extreme to me that someone shows up to work and just.
actually, I've asked them for their policies and they're all over the place, so,
We can't make them, what is that term? Non-exempt, exempt. No, because they said FSL, Fair Labor Standards says who's exempt.
And actually, all those positions would be exempt. That's why we made our policy different. Because we would have been,
So we could change the policy if we made the policy though.
what's that?
If we made the policy here,
Yes.
yes.
so we can change the policy here,
Correct.
correct?
Yeah.
To make it sensible,
Mhm.
'cause I feel like right now it's.
Well, it isn't, but, you know, I think you have to consider that there are other department heads that would get dropped off the cliff then, if you, depending on what you did, you know?
Right, there's someone like Kathy,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, I think in the extenuating circumstances, as a board, we could handle it on a case-by-case basis. I mean, if we wanted a warrant above and beyond the policy in extenuating circumstances, I would think we should be able, be able to do that.
But I think you've gotta have something written, or the employees will have no idea of what direction
Right.
they should
I
be
agree with
going
that,
in.
yeah.
Well, that kind of circles back to what Brandon says, kind of circles back to what I was initially saying of putting a clause in here that says, you know, that it has to come before the select board to be determined in a circumstance that would warrant payout.
Because at some point, we have a budgeting issue, right? I mean, if we're just,
Uh-huh.
We
We're-
do.
Yeah, we do.
that's the issue behind the comp policy when it gets that out of control is,
So, but by the time you're asking for a payout, somebody's already worked all these hours.
Yep.
Right.
And you have to pay them for those hours.
They have to be compensated. So it needs to back up further.
Okay.
And it's poor, well, I shouldn't say poor, but it's department management. Hence, maybe another staff person in the summer to fulfill some of the roles.
At a lower rate, and it's only seasonal, and I think in turn would save money.
so for me, there's two issues. There's, we're talking about the recreation issue, and I think that we need to have a conversation with Seth as a board to get his input on why this is happening, so that we're not making assumptions. And two, then we have like, we
Right.
have,
It's
we have
no
the
input.
we have a town, so we have the recreation issue, and then we have a town-wide or,
Right.
municipal-wide issue to deal with, to change policy.
Because, I mean, there are just situations, like, for me, especially in the past, of course, after COVID, everything became online. But before that, you were always traveling for meetings. So you had a day of gone, total traveling, and then you were still working your time in the library, and most likely you went over on your hours that week, and that's just kind of normal use. So you would collect some comp time, but then you try to use it. So there's definitely situations where it's the same for the other departments. They may be gone extended hours to a meeting a day, but yet they're back the rest of the days trying to keep their department open. But that doesn't happen every week. That's not a constant thing. So I don't wanna cut out that factor, that they may have I just can't take any other time off to make up for that extra that I worked. I just think the other departments need to be considered and not cut out of everything.
It's true.
So is there any part of it that we can deal with now, or do we need to wait until we talk to the rec department?
I would like to talk to them and get a better understanding of why this is happening. And what they would like to do about it.
Yeah, I think we owe it to Seth to have that conversation before, you know, to any employee to have that conversation before changing policy.
Yeah.
Because it's very hard to make something as a one size fits all when there's a lot of factors in there, you know, and you don't want to leave anybody out.
Yeah, I mean, I know we let go one of his supervisors at the end of the season, and I don't know how much comp time that accounted for. You know, I don't know. I haven't kept track, but
It was,
minimal.
before that was
Okay.
already accumulating quite a bit.
So next meeting?
Yeah.
Next meeting.
Separate.
So
We
we
scheduled for his budget.
paid out just under $4,000
Already,
in 1 month.
That's not even half the year.
That's August.
yeah. So basically, there'll be nothing left in the fund again for anybody else.
And that's not fair.
It's not, it's really not, because the rest of us are not accumulating like that.
Right.
And we can't see what's around the corner that could happen, that would, that fund would be required.
That's the hardest part, right, with the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes,
Table it for next meeting,
yeah,
and I'll see if I can get some additional samples of comp time policies. I had requested that from their HR person over there, but they're just all over the place. But I can get them and send them to you so that you have something to compare it to.
And Seth's already scheduled the next meeting for budget stuff, is that?
Yep.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah, I'd like to hear what he has to say, if he has any ideas of how to.
Yeah,
How
how
to
we
deal
can
with it.
resolve it. I
Yep.
think, adding another person, I think staffing, filling that gap would be really helpful. And it's not a very good work-life balance working that many hours.
No.
no, and I know that that position needs to be
Flexible.
a mature person, because you
Yeah.
can't have 17-year-olds being the supervisor in the pool, you know? It does need to be a mature person that can take on that responsibility, so kind of goes outside of the realm of most of his hires for the summer.
Yeah, they used to have like Beverly Current and stuff in there.
Right,
And
you
some
know,
of that, yeah.
right, and adults, yeah.
Okay, next meeting. Okay, Heidi, cemetery deed.
Yes. It's just a cemetery deed for the North Cemetery, lot 550 C and D.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve and sign the cemetery deed for Carolyn Fox for, where are they? For plot 550 C and D.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll sign it. Give it to Heidi. David, I take it you're next? E911?
Up off the Cushing lot, Jeremiah's son's property. It's gonna be 3 dwellings, so it's gonna trigger a road name. And he's thrown it out, it's all right with the state, Yaz Drive.
Jazz Drive.
Yep.
Okay,
Where's Cushing lot, Dave? Remind me.
Off the Laurel Ledges, the road to the right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yes. YAZ,
Yep.
yes.
So it's like halfway up where they've been logging down in there?
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, entertain a motion to approve the name of Yaz Drive.
Is that short for Yastrzemski or?
Sounds Polish. So short for something.
Wow,
I'd like to, Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the naming of this 84 Cushing Lot Road to be Yaz Drive.
Second.
is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? David, you got a Yaz Drive now. Okay, the FY '26 municipal resolution for municipal planning grant. This is a beautiful thing, Shelley.
Yeah.
So I have the resolution for the municipal planning grant for fiscal year 2026 that the planning commission and myself have been working on to update the town plan with a focus on natural resource inventory as well as ecological and environmental resilience. And so as part of the pre-application list of documents, this is standard form that needs to be signed by the board to support and to authorize me to move forward with applying for that grant.
Do we have a motion to that effect?
It's my planning
You
commission.
can say so moved. You can say so moved.
So moved.
Is there a second?
That's what I wanted to say.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Shelley's got the one we need to sign.
I'd just like to say at this point, a lot of people did input to this, but Shelley put it all together and put it in the good-looking format. We got a good shot at this.
Great. Okay. Yes. Well, I am not speaking clear tonight. Municipal ethics and conflict of interest. Oops, sorry. Shelley, you want to handle that?
Okay.
Please.
So the municipal ethics and conflict of interest imposed by the state training for specific municipal officials to take the training, and most have taken it. But what it's coming down to now is that small towns, select boards need to figure out how they are going to reinforce this and how they're going to hold officials accountable that don't take the training, as well as anything else they'd like to implement. I know we've already adopted the policy that was the VLCT model policy for the procedure and how everything will be handled when complaints are received. So at this point, the VLCT is recommending that towns are going to have to stand on their own because the state is hands-off at this point and they're not giving support and they're not backing much. So they're expecting towns are gonna pick up.
So they passed a law without giving any,
Without
Oh,
giving
sure.
additional support
Yeah.
or training,
That's right.
training.
or training for
So it's a simple
for
task.
officials on
Yeah.
the procedure.
It was really simple. I think Ryan could have passed it. So what should we,
It's up
Just-
to the board, so if you wanna implement something, if you want to impose something, if people are not taking the training,
well, okay, if people aren't, say I didn't want to take the training, I'm elected, what are you going to do about it?
exactly, it's up to the board.
But if they're elected, okay, take the board off.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, Heidi's totally autonomous. She took it, Sherry took it.
Heidi,
We also said it at the training.
At the
So
VLCT
she's
town
very
fair.
trained.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, but suppose she wasn't, and she
Yeah.
said, I don't want to be. She doesn't have to do anything we tell her.
You can impose a monetary penalty. The
Have
select
they,
board
have
has
they
11
written that out?
They have not written that out. That is something the state was going to impose as the monetary penalty.
Right.
But now they're passing that down, they're hands off, they're passing it down to the towns, so,
I wonder
at
why
this
they're
point,
passing it down, because they're turning their back on revenue?
they've,
That was catty of me, I'm
they've
sorry.
imposed it and then they've taken a step back and they're
I
hands
know
off
that-
and they're.
When we attended
Not
that
doing anything.
training, Kathy and I, the speaker there had said that the state is very, and he was very frustrated with the whole scenario, and he was very vocal about it, wasn't he?
Good for him.
Garrett Baxter was the
Oh.
speaker.
So,
Yeah.
was this the training that you can't take bribes and then you tell
Yes.
your little, my committee?
But they
that
made it
don't
a
take
law,
bribes?
conflict
law.
of
So,
interest.
so we did that, so it seems like this is a two-part thing. One is for employees, right, or people paid by the town, and the second would be for committees.
For volunteers.
So every single time, I think we have to apply every year now to do a committee and be approved every year. So if the committees is easy, because if we haven't done that, you can say,
Do it at a meeting.
you can't meet anymore, or whatever. I mean, for the
Right.
committees, you can basically say to the chair of that committee, you didn't supply us with the proper information, so,
They can be removed.
right.
from the
But
committee.
employees, because I think it's like two parts,
I don't
so
think employees have to do it.
they do not.
It's,
I have to take it, I'm an employee. I don't
They
know
don't
anything.
have anything to do with it.
They outline every position,
Yeah.
whether it's elected or
well,
it's
you have a
appointed.
lot of, you have a different position than just an employee, like none of my
Treasurer.
staff did it.
Treasurer, there are a lot of appointed treasurers now, there aren't that
Yeah,
many that
well,
are
there's,
elected
you
anymore.
know, there needs to be some
So there's.
code of ethics
So
there.
there's a whole list it's right in state statute.
Yep.
Details everyone that is
Right
required.
here.
Any
Yeah.
municipal officer defined by 20 VSA.
Mhm.
Yeah, municipal officer,
Yep.
not employees.
It depends on your position, and a lot of it has to do with making decisions about money.
That's what I was gonna say, I mean, I think anyone with a budget should be required to,
Anyone with a budget, anyone who makes any decisions about money.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of committee chairs,
Budget
a lot
committee.
of elected officials.
So for
Building
me, that
inspector.
technically is not me as the
Cemetery
library
commissioner,
director,
so you're
it's the
stuck.
trustees.
Clerk, collector delinquent taxes, department heads.
If I remember, I think they said that library trustees were exempt, didn't they?
I almost thought
I think so, when we were at the training, I've got a whole bunch of slides, I took pictures of them.
Well, that's a good thing, because it appears that they didn't do it. I see what you sent out, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Did they?
Well, this email went to,
BCA,
All the
the Board of
board.
Abatement.
Yeah, that was the reminder, just to show you that they were told and then they were reminded. That was the email that was sent out to everybody.
and did they ever do it?
Yeah.
Oh.
so,
After the fact.
for me, it seems
That's
like
good.
it's as simple as, I mean, if it's an appointed position,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't do it, we can
Remove them.
remove them.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's an elected position, if we don't do it, if they don't do it, we don't pay them.
It's true.
Can we do that?
Yeah. That I can ask
That's cool.
VLCT.
I mean, we're not asking a whole lot, this thing took me 10 minutes or less. I mean,
Less.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's rich.
If you tried answering one wrong, it wouldn't let you hit next, so.
So it's really
You have all the right
So
answers.
you tried that,
I
right?
tried.
I wasn't gonna admit it.
I did have a conversation with a couple of the VLCT attorneys today, and they have met with the state on this 6 times, and the state still is not following through. And I could reach out to them and ask them.
Have you checked with our senator or our representatives?
I have not.
I was gonna bring this up to him Saturday.
Do that. Yeah.
Seems a lot of people are confused by, if it wasn't broke, why are we trying to fix it?
Yeah, so I think
Because it's
before we
always
do anything drastic, we need clarification, but I think it has to be, once we get clarification, I think it has to be pretty cut and dry that this is a.
I
But I mean, we
Then
had to sign.
Code of ethics.
Yeah.
We had to, as
Yeah.
elected officials.
Yeah,
It's the same thing.
it's kind of like if you deal with kids, you have to take that training too.
Are the people not doing it? They're like, no, I refuse to do it, or they just like, I'll get to it next month, sorry, haven't got it yet.
There are people who have not done it. And I've sent reminders, so. But at this point, you know, it just keeps coming up. And I noticed that they have all of this information on VLCT about the training and that it's new and the requirements, but, you know, at this point, we spearheaded this early on, as soon as they sent it out, and we adopted the policy, we put everything in place. Now that the time frame is come and gone, the deadline was September 30th. Now what, you know?
How many people are we talking about?
Oh, just a few.
Let's send them another little reminder, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, if we get clarification what our options are.
Yeah.
and,
You know, 'cause I think, you know, with the committee, it's pretty clear you can remove them. But when it comes to an elected official,
Yeah.
when it comes to the monetary penalty, what that looks like, I can get that information for the next meeting.
Your monetary penalties were so ridiculous. Low. It's like, it's a joke. Okay, so we're gonna find out more on that. Delinquent tax collection. Fill us in. Kathy, I have a letter. Do you wanna go into executive session?
What are we talking about?
So I was asked to put this on the agenda because there have been some issues with delinquent tax collection.
Yeah, okay, I think we should go into executive session with the delinquent tax collector and the ladies from the treasurer's office, because I don't know,
And the town administrator.
and the town administrator.
Can there also be a public part of this conversation? 'Cause I
We
have
won't
some-
be making any decisions.
Okay, I just have some questions also about some recent issues. I saw this on the agenda.
Wait till we come out,
Okay.
okay,
You're gonna have to help me with which one on this one. Just clarify, probably,
maybe it's sorry,
safety, I would not say, let's say,
evaluation, maybe, that's not really. Discussion of consideration of records or documents accepted from the access, number 5.
Okay. So, Madam Chair, I move we enter executive session for the discussion or consideration of records or documents accepted from the access to public records laws. And we include the town administrator, the delinquent tax collector, and the treasury department.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Hearing all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are in executive session at 7:53. We went into executive session at 7:53. We came out at 8:32. No action was taken. Town administrator report is next.
I'm sorry, can I
No,
ask?
we're not going to do any more of the delinquent tax.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, so we'll bring it up in public comments for future?
As long as it's not personal.
It's not personal,
Okay,
it's about a
okay.
recent meeting,
Okay,
that's my main question.
okay. You'd probably ask for outside of the meeting.
Okay, I'd actually like to be on camera since it's.
Okay, well, we're not gonna do that tonight.
Okay, so we'll do the next one, okay.
Your turn.
Okay. The 2026 municipal planning grant is 95% complete. It's being reviewed by Wyndham Region Commission. Last week I worked on the capital plan, the annual report, and the town meeting warning. Annual reports are due soon. We've received 4 requests for appropriations to be added to town meeting warning so far, and we have a couple more inquiries, so I think we're gonna see at least 6 or more on the warrant this year,
Really?
if they provide their, required reports, so to speak. I had a phone call today, with Norma Manning, who noted that the wildlife corridor work is about half completed, and they're really excited. They're going into, starting the mapping. And I can't wait till that wraps up and we have a presentation. It'll be really exciting. On Monday, I received a voicemail from Brattleboro Masonry stating that they're running behind schedule. We were hoping to get the town hall repointed and have the masonry work this fall. He's gonna try to fit us in, but if the weather gets too cold, he may have to complete it in the spring. So I just wanted to give you the heads up on that in the fall.
Great, thank you. And now we're gonna move to the budgets. Okay. Town clerk budget. Okay. Heidi? You wanna present your budget?
Present it as in. Entertain questions, I guess. Yes, if you guys have questions about it.
Okay, do you
So-
guys have any questions for Heidi?
You're comfortable, it looks like, without proposing to have more help in your office. This
I
is
am
working.
comfortable, I don't feel the need to have an assistant there all the time, and I feel like I get the work done. There is the factor though that I kind of have to have an assistant.
Oh, yeah.
But
You should be able to, you know, take a day off,
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
jazz.
And so I am comfortable with that, and
Okay.
so that's, I did add the line item for the interpreters. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but they are costing us, I think we had it under miscellaneous, and that was at 600, and it was $577 for one meeting, $577.06. So I added that $1,200 in there. Next year we have 3 elections that we'll need them for. I don't know. I gave it to you, the budget without deducting income and with the income, because I guess that's how you guys do it. But it was really hard for me to calculate what the income coming into the office would be. Now with the post receipts, I spoke with Cynthia about it, and she said next year there should be a way for me to break out what is town clerk income, because it will all go into my,
Into your budget.
where now it's kind of like, because you have the dog license where a portion of it goes back, you have the marriage license where a portion of it goes back, which I can break that out, but you have cemetery lots that I take the money for, but that doesn't come, to me. And now I'm doing some tax bills sometimes, something like that comes in, I can process it. So,
Okay.
any questions for her? Looks good.
We're just still waiting for the real numbers on medical though, right? Or,
Those are the new premium numbers.
oh, do you have any for me?
But I gave them to you, I sent you an email.
Okay,
I'll double check.
I will too.
All right, cemetery?
Same as last year. I don't really know what to do exactly, but I gave Cindy our numbers. They're pretty basic.
Who's Cindy?
I mean, sorry, Shelley. Sorry, Shelley. We spent 200 on the cemetery sign, 1,500 for a tree, 265 for Aviati stone repair, and then 48.75 will be for miscellaneous 11 stones being fixed in Tyler Cemetery, which leaves $660 left for this year, which we're going to be using for new cans, lime, clippers, and pruners.
So do you think you should have more than 7,500 in there for repairs?
It's a good question, and we've gone round and round. We have talked about it. I think that we're comfortable with 7,500. However, we do have a big project that we would like to talk to the select board about in Tyler Cemetery. So there was a couple that was buried in the wrong spot, and they were buried in an access way. So Dale has redone the survey, but what we really think we need in Tyler Cemetery are stone markers that outline where people can drive, especially in the back section, because that was grassed over. So Dale is gonna get back to us on exactly how many markers we should have, and you're gonna see how many markers we have kind of in storage here and there to see what we can do. But that's a pretty big project that's gonna cost quite a bit of money, but we really probably need to do it in order to preserve the spots that are closest to the access way. And that might be to the tune of $10,000. So that we might come to you and ask if we should present it as an article at town meeting maybe, because it's so far out of our budget, we can't really budget for it. So that's what we have sort of as a balancing act a little bit.
I didn't even know there was a road. That's how you can't see.
And I don't know, I just threw 10,000 out there. I really don't know, cause I know that it's very expensive to cut the granite posts. So like each blade is about $200 to cut, and you only have a few cuts you can make with each blade. So I don't even know what it would really cost, but it would be significant. And the markers will be placed in surveyed spots by Dale so that they will be used so that we can make sure that we have more lines so that we know it's easier to calculate how to bury people and make sure that there's no more errors made. So they'll be on surveyed spots.
I should have had Dale do that survey to start with.
He did do the.
He did.
He did.
It was an error.
No, I mean, the lots, I think that Southern Vermont did that, or did they
They
do North?
started it, but then Dale
He
did,
finished it.
completed it. He did the
Yeah.
expansion part of it. He
Good.
actually just got more maps and fixed that survey
Great.
map, that section.
Good.
So it was very
Okay.
nice of him to
So-
do that.
That's it. Anyway, so we have that balancing act of those, we're okay with 7,500, but we may come to the select board and ask for a bigger, to maybe go forward with an article. Because we really should have the driving pathways marked very clearly. And it doesn't have to be a full road, because that would be very expensive, so what we thought was we could just do granite markers along the edges.
The more cars that go on it, we'll make a road.
Yeah, thank you very much. Treasurer.
What's up? Okay. I am kind of an overachiever, so I did 3 for our department. The difference basically is my hours. So, what we put in for, if we have, a treasurer that, will have a stipend, I put in 2,500 for that across each one. On mine, I have one for 20 hours, one for 28 hours, and one for 32 hours. The one for 28 hours is just a bit over what our current budget is. Our current budget is 123, 141, and this one is the 123, 433. And that is for me to have 28 hours, and we put in $1,000 for travel and training.
Education.
Conference, yeah. June is in there as the bookkeeper. It'll be significantly less for health insurance because we only have June to cover. And the FICA is adjusted for each of the ones based on my hours.
What are you recommending?
Say that again?
What are you recommending?
I think the 28 hours, would be good. That would give me more hours to help June. I could adjust it back and forth so that I could be there for, when we have tax time, town meeting, those hours. It's basically, I'll leave it up to you which one you decide would be the better fit. And I'm happy, yeah, and I'm happy with any of them. Yeah, I really don't want the 32 hours. but-
Oh, that's
Oh,
what
no,
I
that was
meant.
my next question,
That was-
really?
I was gonna say, come on, girl. Because that's the one I might pick.
But I did
Put that out
all
there.
of them so you would have options to look at and decide that when I looked at the 28 hours, I'm like, God, that's not much more than what our budget stands right now.
Right,
No, it's not.
no, it's very, very small.
Okay, we'll think on that.
But you're leaning to, like,
I'm
28 would be
leaning-
adequate for
Yeah, I'm
your
leaning
office.
with the 28 would be adequate and
And you'd be comfortable with that?
yeah, and June does her 32, that should give us enough. I could slack off 1 week if I have to and comp time. So,
Is that gonna be enough for the window that you guys are gonna be open for people to come by and do
yes,
business?
if I come in at 7 and work and do my hours, then June comes in at 8 and works till 4. That would give us so that our office would be 7 to 4 every day.
Excellent.
Perfect. All right, thank you. Okay, Mr. Walker.
I give up. I didn't give you 3 options. I just give up.
You're just not an overachiever.
You only have 20 pages here for,
Yikes.
come on, David.
And my budget ain't small like that.
No,
You have the
no,
ability
it's
to.
not.
I just, on the highway maintenance one, I put the rental equipment up, cause we started doing the crack sealing ourselves, renting the machine. If we don't have a normal winter, it's been like the last 2, the cleanup for sand's cheaper, but if we have a normal winter, that's why I went up a little bit on that. So we can rent the machine. Other than that, then I did go up on salt. Last year we paid 86 something, this year we're paying 98.20. That's the low one. The high one was 103.
Okay.
So
Stormwater runoff permits, how many do you have of those?
right now, 2. Fox Hill and Central Park. But also out of that is the whole town gets a bill too for all our roads. Thank you, State of Vermont.
Tell them to take it back. Okay, thank you. Okay,
And basically on the other one, town garage operation, other than the salaries. Fuel oil, I reduced it down, and gas and diesel, I reduced it down. Cause of how we're paying for it.
great.
Noticed you increased drugs and alcohol here by
Yep.
$30. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
that's-
The
testing,
testing,
all
he's not
right.
using it.
Yes, I'm on physicals. But other than that, I try to keep everything. Then what I cut is where I put the money in other places. So,
You've been level funding for about 40 years.
then the other one, road equipment. Trucks, we went up to 12,000, cause we really overspent last year. And that's about it on that one.
Yeah, do you do the town van? No.
I did the town van.
Okay, Shelley?
Okay, so the town van, I was looking at our actuals and left, the 8,500, as it seems to be just a lot more trips happening, and I wanted to make sure that there's plenty in there for the driver if they decide that they're gonna, be taking more trips. Gasoline, I increased due to the actuals being a lot more. Town van maintenance, I had consulted with David before I put in 2,000 and make sure that we have something in there, even though it is a new vehicle, things can happen, tires can blow out, oil changes and little things that they add up, it's pretty cumulative pretty quickly. So, with a slight increase from gasoline, it's only gone up $2,000.
Great.
And that's all I have.
Our next meeting?
I just have one quick question.
Okay,
So, and it's not directed at any department or anyone, but it's more history. We did the wage and salary study.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe the idea was, at the time, and this was like right before I came on the board, we did this study based on surrounding towns.
Surrounding towns of the same population and means, meaning budget. And that included Massachusetts as we're in the tri-state corner. However, I have done a lot of research on all the positions, and there are some positions that need a bump, like our highway guys. We got everyone up to where it was level, and it was fair and equitable in surrounding towns, but then these surrounding towns had not given a lot of increases and then bumped everybody up, so now we're competing again. So now they're falling behind. So I've recommended a little bit more of a bump, not much, but, and maybe over 2 years, a very small increase. But I think it's something that we really do need to keep an eye on, to be competitive and to hopefully, keep the people that we have in place that have all the skills and knowledge. Because they're very hard to replace.
So just, you know, when I first came on the board, I wanted to spend a few years learning this
Yeah.
function. And I did some research the past week on, I think we're well above what surrounding towns are paying. So my question is,
I think it depends on the positions. There's only a couple of positions that are falling behind here and there. I think for the most part, I think we're on par where we need to be.
so my question is, I guess, if we did that wage salary today, I mean, or if we did that, can we do a quick evaluation today versus versus the surrounding towns?
I
You know,
did.
today, because,
I
I
have-
did as well, I didn't see that.
There was a handful of positions that need a slight increase, and I'm not talking anything huge, but I can provide you with that information. Most of it's from VLCT, and then we go down with the population, we're gonna look at the budget and see what's comparable, and we try to stick as much to this area as we can, because we're in the same region.
I mean, I think that's a great way to do it, and not knocking
Yeah.
any specific department
No, and
or
I'm
any
happy to
one,
share that
but I
with you.
just wanna make sure, if we
Yeah.
did that wage study 5 years ago, and we've gone up,
It was 3 years ago, and.
okay, if
and
we've
it's-
gone up higher than the next town, then we're no longer,
We're doing, exactly what the board had decided to do at that time, was to automatically do the cost of living increase and to do the steps. And it's every other year, and the step is only 3%. But I think that we need to evaluate more frequently, because it's come to my attention that there are a few positions that are falling behind, and it happens pretty quickly. So I think maybe a reevaluation every other year, just to make sure that we're still on par. Because it's not every department, it's every position. And it is truly based on experience as well, and responsibility, as we have, many positions that are a combination of responsibilities.
and just one other question, that is for Dave. Dave, I've never understood, and it's not, how do you account for snow plowing in the winter and overtime? Is that included in these salaries, or is
Yeah,
that?
it's right included,
Okay,
it's right there.
200 hours, I think.
so you estimate what you need and include it.
And I can let you guys know that if ordering a truck right now, say for 2030, I need to reserve a spot at the body shop in 2028. They're 2 years out. My truck that we ordered almost 2 years ago is just getting built right now.
Not the same as the fire trucks then.
I mean, cab and chassis, you can get them, it's just the body companies,
That's weird.
but that's their new rule now, not when you reserve a spot,
Yep.
Okay.
but then you can order your cab and chassis later, so they don't sit as long.
Oh, that's,
I think they went and set that out.
okay, our next meeting is November 4th, and Brandon will be
Great.
doing that one. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned at 8:55.